Anderson Paak was my first drummer that I auditioned back in 2012. I did just get a Grammy this year.
You got a Grammy this year? Correct me if I'm wrong, you were a voice actor in an animated series.
Yes, we did 5 seasons and I played a little boy named Bill Murphy. I did do a movie though, it's really like a kid's movie called We Could Be Heroes.
And I remember you had like a coaching session with Lady Gaga and she called your voice perfect. When you were there like in real time, did you think that you were gonna make it to the finale at that point?
You got me there.
I'm gonna make it a you thing now.
I appreciate that. Welcome to Counter-Melodies, in the Zeitgeist. We're here.
We're in the zeitgeist already.
We're kicking it off with my favorite word.
We had an off-camera conversation, guys, before we started filming. I'm Anthony, by the way.
I'm Jonathan.
Yeah. We had a conversation about zeitgeist and what it means because Jonathan says it in every episode, and I don't know. Our guest, who I'm going to intro soon, also doesn't know.
And what we found out when you asked me to define it is I loosely know.
Jonathan doesn't actually know either.
I think I use it correctly, but basically it's like the spirit of the culture at the time. So anyway,
we're 30 seconds in.
We are 30 seconds in. What, you were gonna expect me not to do this?
You're right. It happened.
Anyway, so in outside of the SAT word of the day, what did we do this week? We had some cool stuff going on.
We had a really fun week. We sang with Pentatonics.
We did,
which was amazing. I mean,
very cool.
I say Pentatonics. It was like a 3 out of 5 situation.
Right.
But we made the other 2.
So we just were Pentatonics.
I think so.
Right.
That's how it works.
Absolutely.
Math.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Sam Harris from Ex Ambassadors was here.
Right. And what's his big song? Meaning, sing it for us.
Unsteady.
Right. And then also followed closely by Hey, hey, living like we're renegades.
I love that song.
That's a great song too. He's so cool.
He has one of the coolest voices I've literally ever heard in my life.
But also like as a person.
Oh yeah.
I thought he's pretty cool.
He is a pretty cool person too.
And he has a pretty great, not handlebar mustache, but just like the...
It's a mustache.
It is. But it's very...
It's a good one.
Isn't there a word when it's like very like... I don't know,
but...
Mustache. Right.
You know what might be cool?
Tell me.
If we intro our guest for today.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Beautiful.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Counter-Melodies. Oh, yeah. Oh, Counter-Melodies. Y'all, today we have a guest with one of our favorite voices of all time. Between her legendary run on American Idol to remixing your favorite songs in groups like Postmodern Jukebox to releasing multi-platinum singles, this singer is just one of the best ever to do it. And I'm sorry if I'm being a little extra. Get it, like the gum? Okay, with this intro. But please give it up for Haley Reinhart!
Thank you.
How did that feel?
That was amazing.
Okay.
You just built me up.
Right.
I feel warm
now we can
inside.
tear you down. That's how we do it.
Break me.
Right.
I wish I brought extra gum so I could have just slid my hand into frame and just extra cleans another dirty mouth, even though it's a different kind of gum.
Do you ever have other kinds of gum ever, or is it just extra for life?
Well, if I'm a good girl, I will just stick with extra. Yes.
Right.
We will say
that. Did they provide you free extra?
At my shows, I tell everybody that I've gotten a lifetime supply of it, and it's not false. Like, I have a massive box of it, and I also have Lockjaw now, so I think that's...
Oh, no.
Because of all the
or
gum.
TMJ, whatever. It's all the gum.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, maybe we start here.
Sure.
The video that we posted with Haley a couple weeks ago at this point.
Yes.
We were singing Can't Help Falling in Love, and if you do not know, Haley has a iconic version of it that was in one of the biggest commercials ever. That's a statistic that I'm making up in my head.
Totally.
And it was for extra gum.
Yes.
And they'd like draw on the little things.
Yeah, such a sweet commercial.
How did this come about?
Casey Abrams, who you guys know, and I were actually driving around in his van after like a party the night before, so I was pretty hungover, to be honest. And I got this amazing call to do this commercial, and I said, well, this is kind of a theme in my life. Well, when do I do it? Well, tomorrow. Okay. I have to find a piano player. I always knew this song because I grew up singing it with my mom and her sisters and my grandma around the piano. Like, it is a very sentimental song to me from the get-go, but I had to, really fine tune it. And Casey's like, well, I can play piano. I was like, all right, sick. So we just got in there, and initially I was kind of singing it like Elvis because I didn't have any real input as to how they wanted it to go. So I was just kind of ramping up and just like the vibrato and stuff.
Yeah.
And then once we took a break, I was like, well, can I see the commercial? And then they showed it to me because I think that's so important, to connect to something like this. So they showed it to me and I'm bawling and everybody in the room is pretty much crying now. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense. I have to treat this as if I'm singing to a lover that's beside me on the pillow, It's just like pillow talk or just, a first dance, like something that's just so sentimental. And so I did the whole thing over and reapproach it in that way and it seemed to work.
So good. Just went 2 times platinum.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So did they come to you with the concepts fully done and they're like, we just need a beautiful girl's voice on the record or on the commercial?
So I have done a good amount of sync in the past and I'm so into it. I love that kind of combination, right? The marriage between music and the screen and what they're trying to accomplish. So this man, Daniel Kuipers, is from Chicago, and he specifically sought me out and was like, I want your voice on this commercial. There's other people that have already cut it, but I envision it being you. And it was a mixture between him and BBDO, which is an ad agency. So there was like a huge team. It turned out to just feel like a family situation. I brought my dad to New York with me. We surprised their whole team and performed it for them. When we got a Clio award, there was just like a lot of cool things that went down that felt like it was so much more than an ad, and it ran for over 5 years. So it was like kind of just one of those lightning in a bottle situations where I hear they like show it in, sales meetings and marketing meetings, and they're like, this is the kind of thing that works. And it's just cool to be a part of something that's much bigger than either of us on either side,
So cool. How long was the window between like getting that song submitted and then seeing it on TV for the first time?
I think it was pretty fast.
Yeah.
And they had it a bunch of different kind of cuts for the commercial too. So the long one is like I think like a minute and a half, and that's the one where you just
Was it on the Super Bowl or am I making that up?
No, it was not.
I made it up.
Well,
but thank you. Let's manifest that for my next thing.
Right.
There you go. The next song.
I love that.
Also for the listeners who don't know what sync is, that is like making, music for television or like TV shows or commercials or anything, like using music.
Synchronizing music to
synchronizing
screen.
Right.
I never put that together.
Well,
That's
throw that in your zeit, guys.
there we go.
That might not be it at all.
Well,
I don't know.
Golly.
comment below. Does that count?
Oh man.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Well, congrats again on it going two times platinum. That's amazing. I think your music career is so cool to watch because you've just done so many like different things, and it's such a testament to like there's no one way to have a career in music,
Thank you.
And you're just amazing.
I appreciate that. There really isn't. I mean, look what you guys are doing. You're bringing so much joy to people. There is no one way, and we are so blessed in this generation to have access to all these things that just enable us to cut out so many middlemen or cooks in the kitchen, if you will, and just do really what we want to do, be our most authentic selves,
One of my favorite off the beaten path things that you've done, and if this is not what you did and I'm wrong, you just can come over here and slap me directly in the face. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were a voice actor in an animated series for a few years, correct?
Yes, we did 5 seasons, and I played a little boy named Bill Murphy, who is actually Bill Burr, the comedian, as a kid.
Aww.
And it's all about his life. You would say, oh, but I swore more than
Knowing Bill Burr, I was like,
no way. What was this?
Was that F is for family?
F is for family, yeah. And this is kind of a wild story, too. Like, I honestly, I feel like my life is made up of me really trying to manifest things and just really putting it out into the ether and just praying and waiting for the moment for it to manifest. And this is one of those things where I've always done weird voices. Me and my girlfriends from back home in Chicago, like I always just annoyed my family, I'm sure. But this was one of those things where I had done one audition and I was trying to be Charlie Brown. And I did like the whole Christmas scene with, I put Vince Guaraldi in the background.
Oh.
It was a scene where he's talking to Snoopy. So anyway, long story short, they ended up taking children for that movie. They did a Peanuts movie. So I didn't get the role for that. But years later, this was somehow seen, my little audition that I did at home, by Bill Burr and Peter Billingsley, who's the kid Ralphie on A Christmas Story.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
And Vince Vaughn, and all these people were the producers of the show. So I got randomly hit up by them to do a cold read, which is just coming in and sitting at the round table with everybody and just doing it. And I'm walking in as Mo Collins from Mad TV is walking out. Such one of my biggest heroes. You know, the lady that would be like, oh, and Stuart's mom.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's iconic. And she was walking out, and this is also hilarious because I was wearing a cute little striped tight dress. She's like, oh, maybe if I wore that dress, I'd get the audition too. I'll never forget it.
Shit.
But I loved it. I was just like, yes, this is amazing. So that was my fuel to walk in. And I pretty much got it on the spot. And this cast is full of monsters in the greatest way. Like, I'm the newbie. And everybody else is, Sam Rockwell, Laura Dern, Bill Burr.
Wow.
A ton more people. But it was just such an amazing learning experience. And they were such cool people. I couldn't call it a job. I'm sure you guys feel this way too, doing what you're doing. But it truly felt like that. Just fun.
Can I put you on the spot?
Thank you. I was going to make you.
Can you give us a line? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, that was kind of like him anyway. Well, what should I say? Thank you so much for having me on the show today, guys, even though you freaking suck.
You do sound like a little boy.
Thank you.
You don't suck also, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, please. I was hoping you'd meaner. That's the thing. They always have the little boys like Bart Simpson, like played by like, because they want that raspy sound, so they get like girls that can do that.
Whoa.
Yes, like, well, I actually met her when we were on Idol, and I was like, that was like inspo for me too. I was like, oh my God, she's here, and like, this is so cool. And E.G. Daily, do you know who? Well, first of all, she was Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but she also played Tommy Pickles.
Oh yeah.
So many other.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention Debbie Derryberry, who played Jimmy Neutron. She was like, and I
huge on
did so
TikTok.
much. She's
Yeah.
on F is for Family too. She played like a million different characters. It's just, those people are skilled.
Yeah.
And you have to work hard.
Do you come from an acting background, or was it just kind of like a thing you wanted to do?
I did plays and I did improv, and I love it. Like, if I could be split into two people, is that bipolar? No, I'm just kidding. I would like to do both, but honestly, it's music has been one thing. And then I did do a movie though, but the movie was another crazy thing too, because with Robert Rodriguez, he called me up and just said like, I want to write you into our movie. And I'm like, you're making my literal dreams come true.
Oh my God.
And I got to be a superhero. It's really like a kid's movie called We Could Be Heroes. And it's so sweet. And my voice moves things. And I get to be, a superhero. And I have a daughter and she sings, even though I sang her parts. I love her.
That's so cool, kind of marrying your love for acting and singing as well.
Yeah.
That's so cool, like doing both.
Yeah. That's like the coolest gift I could ever imagine. I just want to continue to do stuff like that. So
when you're approaching, because there is I don't want to call it, it's not a theatricality to your performances. There's like a flamboyancy almost. Like, do you approach all these songs from an acting perspective where you're like, oh, I think that in this world, this is where the growl would happen and that's why I would do it? Or...
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like, I've seen a few reaction videos, right, where people are like dissecting us as performers. And, it's funny to me when so many of them will say, well, she did this here because of this. And to be quite honest, I'm not like premeditating for the most part. Like, I could have a roadmap of maybe where I want to go dynamically, but I leave a lot of space to just let the spirit hit me and be theatrical if it calls for it. And I do feel like I channel a different kind of character or mold when I'm doing things, especially like Postmodern Jukebox, where you're encouraged to explore this alter ego. And but yeah, I don't like to think too hard about it.
Well, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, on that same topic, I wanted to bring this up. I remember it was like, I'm a big American Idol fan, of course. Like, I've seen all the seasons and whatever. And I remember you had like a coaching session with Lady Gaga, and she called your voice perfect. She was like, you are perfect, but I want to see you give the drama.
I do remember that.
Do you feel like, was it like her specifically or like anybody in like your past that like gave you advice to like, you know, like give it like that, or you just feel it?
I'm certain that would have definitely helped me feel comfortable in doing so, because I mean, I grew up singing with my parents' band since I was like 6, but I was always like stiff as a board and singing like as loud as I could, projecting, but like I was not moving. And it was for an adult audience, you know, so I didn't feel as comfortable. So Idol truly was the time where I had to dig into that and realize like you're not just performing for this crowd here, it's millions of people at home, and you have to connect through that lens and give it. So I'm sure that moment really did like spark something in me that was like, oh, cool. Like she says, go for it. Like, let's do it, you know?
That's amazing.
That's so interesting to me because I watched American Idol growing up, but I was not the red carpet correspondent level that you were.
Wow. Do you know this story?
No.
When I was 8 years old, I was an Ellen kid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she sent me to on the David season. She sent me to the red carpet. And I was the correspondent. I interviewed them.
Wow.
And that's how I met David Archuleta for the first time. And now he's a friend, which is so crazy.
That's
So I'm
sweet.
not there. And I think by the time that your season was around, I was a little bit more tapped out from it.
Wow.
But the reason I bring that up is to say, I know. But so I have no memory of you ever not being kind of this like ferocious powerhouse that you are. Like you being in the kitchen. I don't know if the video's out yet at this point, but we did a video of Benny and the Jets with you. And you are full on with the sunglasses and you're doing the motions. And in my head, I'm like, I assume that since 7 years old, you've been doing performances in the mirror like that. And to hear that that's actually not the case, I think it's pretty inspiring to other people out there that are like, maybe they don't have the stage presence, but they've got the voice. Like, you're a living example of you can figure it out as you go.
Yeah, there's like a lot of inner confidence, right, that we might have. And at that stage as a kid, maybe I didn't even feel like it was appropriate, you know? Like it was just like a weird kind of juxtaposition of seeing all these adults that are drinking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I was doing all the time, I was singing Blue from Leon Rimes because I can yodel. So I was doing actually country, which is hilarious because I don't, it's like the only genre I really don't do, but they made me do it for years. Yeah. Good times.
Because both your parents are musicians as well, right?
Yeah, they still have a band together for like nearly 50 years now. Yeah, called Midnight.
Is it a country band?
No, it's rock. It's really rock and roll.
Okay.
But you can yodel, so.
But yeah, so when we saw her do that song on whatever it was, the Grammys, I was like, I could do that. And they're like, oh, that's so cute. You can't. And I was like, yes, I can. And I did. And they're like, we're going to make you do that forever.
Wow.
And that was your thing.
God bless them.
When was the last time that you sang that?
Probably not that long ago. It was probably the last couple of years.
Okay.
If I go back to the hometown digs and
They want to hear it.
you know,
I love it.
team
Are you from
player.
the South? Where are you from?
No, even though I get that a lot, but
Right.
Chicago.
Not the same.
No.
Not even a little. The
I
same,
know.
Not
actually.
even a little
I
bit.
think we bend some of our things a lot, like
Sure.
tonally.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I get that though.
Have you lived in the South at any point? Or?
No. I mean, I would do a lot of music stuff in New Orleans for a bit, but that's not even the same either. That's a whole different thing.
Well, I want to take a quick little rewind back to Idleland. That was crazy. Idleland.
Yeah.
You can say that. I feel
think-
like you've earned it.
That's where
Right.
childhood Anthony lived.
Yeah.
I resided there.
Yeah.
Resi-
I did too,
Yeah, so-
honestly.
Resided. That's a word. Resided.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
Risode? That's not right. That is definitely not right.
Resound.
resound.
We can make stuff up.
Yeah.
It's our world.
Risotto.
That sounds delicious.
Thank you.
love food.
Like a musical risotto? Sorry. Shut up, Jonathan.
What?
Let's move on.
Anyway,
Musotto. Yeah.
I remember your story being that you had auditioned once before, right? And
Yeah.
like maybe didn't get through to Hollywood, and then you auditioned another year and totally soared through the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. I was like crushed, and I had this whole thing with my family. We all sang like One Love together back, they did a whole story on us. But I found out that, Simon, he was like totally checked out and about to do X Factor the next year. So they weren't like trying to make it the best season ever, needless to say. Oh. So I got a call from the producers. And once again, I was like, well, when's the audition? They're like, we've been trying to get a hold of you. I'm like, that's the wrong email. When's the audition? Tomorrow. And I was like, okay. So I drove to Milwaukee from Chicago. And again, just one of those things where I'm like, well, if this is coming to me and the producers are telling me I can skip the cattle call of, 14,000 plus people like I had done the last time, there's a reason for it. So let's just go for it. And and then I was already doing my own bands and stuff in college. So I had this other confidence that was built to where I was like, not giving as much of a shit, So it was just like a perfect way to just be like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, like, I got my thing going on. I'm going to do music regardless forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so good. I mean, I want to get into like all the performances and stuff. I'm like such a stan. We have to talk about Benny and the Jets. We just have to.
We can limit you to 2. I think 2 is fine.
So
okay,
cute.
I have to bring up Benny and the Jets because first of all, this is maybe embarrassing, but I only know that song because of your version.
I love that. That's so sweet.
Did you think that it was like gonna become this big iconic thing when you performed it?
No, I didn't think. First of all, I wanted to do another song, but everybody had picked the songs I wanted. I wanted to do Yellow Brick Road, I think. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
All the songs I wanted, people took before me, and I was like, oh, I'm stuck with this one that nobody even knows the words to. Like, it's so like there's so many weird, strange, obscure kind of wording, and anyways. But then, when I wrapped my head around it, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And no, I really didn't think it would blow up like that. It's always kind of the things I don't think are going to blow up that kind of turn out to do well. So I was very pleasantly surprised.
It's so cool. It was Elton John week, by the way.
Yeah.
in
I
case
figured. Thank you.
Yeah. And then the other one, I'm sorry to dive too much, but the other one I need to talk about is House of the Rising Sun.
Thanks.
It's just like I watched a compilation video a couple weeks ago of best American Idol performances of all time, top 50, and number 1 was House of the Rising Sun, Haley Reinhart.
Thank you. Whoa,
And they were correct.
That's cool.
And that song has a very special connection to me and Anthony because it's a song. It's one of the 2 songs in the public domain for popular songs currently.
Oh,
so
right.
anytime that we book a sponsorship deal, and they're like, sing a song, and they're like, do you have any songs that you like, that you've got the licensing to? And they're like, no. We're like, House of the Rising Sun, it is
How about
again.
it? How about
And
it?
we've done it so many times.
So many times.
That's
But
right.
nothing will ever top your version.
Never, ever, ever.
I love you.
No, and I
both.
mean that.
That was a really neat. I had a weird boogity around that one too because I was like driving down like Santa Monica and I'm blasting this song and I'm like, wow, this would be really cool to do. And then my mom called me and she's like, honey, like your aunt Marilyn, who kind of has one of those, ESP and things like that. She's like, I saw you. Oh, that could be a whole nother podcast. My mom and her 5 sisters, they're so like gifted in different ways, and they all sing too. But like they just sometimes they have like visions, like That's a Raven. I don't know. Anyway, so my aunt Marilyn, who's now passed, rest her soul, she saw me, envisioned me doing this song, and that's not even her generation of songs. So like this wasn't like in her zeitgeist. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Yes, that was
That's probably
perfect.
right. Like, it wasn't in this zeitgeist. Yeah, her zeitgeist. Thank you.
That's the one? Okay, cool. You can cut out the other one where
Okay.
I was just being silly. I knew what it meant.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, long story short, she envisioned me doing the song out of nowhere. Like this wasn't like, I forgot what the week theme even was, but like it wasn't the animals. So
Right,
anyway,
right.
she picked that and we flew her out to see it, and it was like her vision manifested in front of her. And just that alone, like those kinds of things with family, like that just made my world. But it turned out to be a turning point for me on that show. So
Yeah.
that was pretty neat.
I feel like it was that moment that turned you into, and I can say this, I feel like it turned you into maybe the most robbed American Idol contestant of all time. Like it's actually insane. You can just sit there and awkwardly smile, but like I will say right here, right now, like the biggest robbery of all time.
Wow.
It's actually insane.
I know you
love
didn't make
it.
it to the finale. Were you top 5?
Top 3.
Oh, they
Yeah.
only did 2 for the finale? Mm-hmm. Was that not normal at the time either?
No, it was. They
Oh, it was.
they
They did
always
the
did
two?
like a top 2 finale, and in my head I was like, all right, well Haley's going
Who
through.
won your
Let's see.
year?
Scotty McCreery. I love that boy.
Yeah.
I did just do a Southern accent.
We heard it. Thank you.
It's not natural.
When you were there, like in real time, did you think that you were gonna make it to the finale at that point, or were you just kind of letting the world decide?
It's like a weird, like, Alice in Wonderland vibe when Alice is like looking at herself like from out of body and she's just like, oh, I'm sleeping. I felt like I was watching myself, and when you're in that moment, you want to continue on, right? But in retrospect, I was constantly telling myself I would be totally happy with third because I knew I'd have more freedom to do what I wanted. Even though I got signed with Interscope and dug into my own record, like there's freedoms being third and beyond that you don't get at the 2 and 1. And that's just who I am because my little Virgo brain needs to be in control of things. So I just knew I wanted to have a little more leeway to be able to write the record I wanted, to be a songwriter, to not get sucked into just recording songs that I had no, part in that I didn't write. It's just, that was important to me to do. Yeah.
The finale was Scotty McCreery and country superstar Lauren Elena.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
And she has to have that full title because I did a show called "I Can See Your Voice" on Fox, and this was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And she was a celebrity guest.
Was she?
And she was exclusively introduced as country superstar Lauren Elena, and that is now forever her name in my soul.
That's nice.
Right. So it was a country year, is what I'm hearing.
It's always a country year now.
Ever since then, I think, like, it took over. Like, that was when, like, I think just the world was just, swooning over country music. So that's all good. It's all good.
And now on this current season of Idol, they got Carrie Underwood and Luke Bryan, and now Jelly Roll is a full-time mentor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Full-time?
Yeah.
Huh.
So they're doing like well, I mean, like full-time in terms of the show. Like, I don't think it's every day of his life, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
Okay, I would like to briefly double back to your aunt and other sisters being, what is the term, fae? Isn't that like one of the terms, or like...
Oh, is that like a fairy?
No, I think it's just fae. It's just me. That's what it's like an old term. I'm so sorry.
She was a fairy.
She was... clairvoyant, that kind of a thing.
Yes.
Now, we can't go into all of this, but I would like to know, did they have any control over, like, could they request information? Like, could they, like an 8-ball be like, will Haley win Idol? Like, or is it more just kind of like when they get it, they get it?
It's different for all of them, but like, I've never tested this because I don't like to mess with fate like that.
Sure.
But at the same rate, like, my mom is very gifted where you can, ask her things and she can tell you, like, yeah, you'll probably meet this person and marry them and their name is this and maybe you'll meet them at this date. And she's like, good and spot on.
Yeah. Have you stopped? So you don't ask because you don't want to know? Or?
I've not. Well, actually, I had a touch of it too when I was younger. And so, but yeah, it's always just been like a very light, fun thing. It's no like weird, dark magic stuff. It's just like intuitive. And that's where I think the whole, the main squeezes is being intuitive within yourself and allowing yourself to collect information that's coming to you. So clairvoyant would probably be, the best word for that, I guess.
I mean, I would say that that's made its way into your music in the way that you were speaking earlier about, like, kind of you just are leaving the space for the spirit to kind of move how you want your voice to move. Mm-hmm. And you nail it every time. And there's people literally dissecting your performances to be like, well, she did it for this reason. And you're like, no, I just did it because it seemed right. And that's intuition.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
She's done the spirit mover.
Right.
Thank you, Jesus.
Wow.
Amen.
Okay, so you're going to come back. We'll do a part 2. We'll dissect all of that.
Okay, can I
can't believe I
get
just
into
talked
something,
about
though?
that.
This is
Please.
something I've been dying to talk to you about. You said that right after the show you were signed with Interscope. Mm-hmm. I think I just said you were the most robbed of all time. I also think one of the most underrated songs of all time is Free by Haley Reinhart. Y'all, Justice for Free.
Thank you.
Justice for Free. That deserved to be the biggest hit ever.
I love you.
It's such a good song.
I appreciate that.
I have a playlist on Spotify called Songs That Scratch My Brain, and it's on there.
Oh my God, I love that. I hope it didn't hurt.
No, it's a good kind of scratch.
Itchy scratchy. Yeah.
But I love that you still perform that song because I just saw you on your last tour.
Yes,
and you performed
I brought it back. I kind of like nixed it for a while, but I definitely brought it back. And you know what? Fun fact that my girlfriends told me about. I didn't realize it, but what's the dude from like Vanderpump? What's his name? Tom. One of the Toms. Do you know that dude?
Oh, like the Tom Club?
Tom.
One of those Toms.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
One of the Toms.
Tom.
He's the star in my video for that.
Love
I
that.
chose him out of a lineup. It was so fun. And my girlfriends were like, I was like, I think I know that guy. And they're like, you don't know Tom. And I was like, and then I brought up my video and they're like, oh my God. It was so funny. I just had I didn't know if like you guys would know him like that, but like the girls freaked out.
So
So,
you discovered him, is what I'm hearing.
yes, I
Right.
am an agent.
You gave him his big break.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that.
No, but I was so obsessed with your show in Nashville. You were absolutely
Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you
and
for coming.
I love your set list because you just like you pull a little bit of all the parts of your career just like together into one like beautiful cohesive story.
Thanks.
And I especially love that you did those songs from Postmodern Jukebox. You did Creep, and I was so happy because I was waiting to hear it. I was telling everyone around me, I was like, oh, just wait. If she does Creep, just wait. Just wait.
Do you know how many views that has on YouTube?
No.
Do you?
Not like most currently, but ish.
Ish. What do you think it is?
I think it's like over 120 mil.
Okay. What do you think?
Sure, maybe also that.
I believe it's 138 million.
That's
Oh.
insane.
yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, that was another one that was wild because I was tired and we were touring and it was like our 6 shows in a row and then we had a day off and our day off was recording in the studio and I did 3 videos that day all about the bass, another one singing some backgrounds, and then Creep was the very end and I was just spent. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to put this out. But again, it was like one of those things where I had to like pull from the spirit
Yeah.
and just give it from like a really like emotional place.
Wow.
And yeah, they were like, yeah, I think we should put this out. I was like, are you sure? Okay, fine.
And now anytime anybody in the world sings Creep, they're like, not as good as Haley.
Right.
No.
Every time, including my own comment section. Anyway.
Oh, well. You can't beat
I
Haley,
love
but
your
you owe it
Creep.
to yourself to try.
Well, so like experiencing this viral fame with Postmodern Jukebox, like how is that different from like the fame that you experienced previously with Idol and stuff?
It honestly feels like just a second chapter with a different family of musicians. I mean, we toured together. We did, Idol Days we were selling out arenas. And then with Postmodern, we were hitting all these places we'd dreamt of going and Pelly and all over the world. It was just awesome. So I got to tour with my family. It's just so cool to be able to say that. And I'm, again, like, I know you relate. You're just having fun. You're with your friend. And it's just, there's nothing like that. It's hard to call it work, even though it is work.
Right.
But,
How often at this point are you touring, like months out of the year?
in the last couple years, it was gnarly. I was like on the road way more than I've been home. I've been coming home to repack. And last year, see, I'm tired. Last year was over 100 shows, and the travel with that, it takes a lot more days. So, and the year before that was pretty much the same as far as touring. And in between, I had like literally 8 or 9 of my best friends getting married. So I was doing the bachelorettes, singing at their weddings, singing Can't Help. Like,
Oh, really?
these were my girls. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm making everything, of course. So it was a wild couple of years. So I just ended like this last run in the East Coast, and I'm chilling for a bit. I'm writing new music. I'm doing the 5th full-length album.
Let's go.
I have one song that maybe you heard that night called Danger. That's going to be like the catalyst of this new record.
I mean, I did take a picture of the set list. Wait, this is embarrassing. Wait, we were up on the balcony.
You're the cutest.
We were up on the balcony, and I saw the set list on the stage, and I really wanted to, I was like manifesting you singing Creep. And I was like, I wonder if I could take a picture and zoom in. And guys, I could.
You were a detective.
I couldn't see it with my eye, but I zoomed in, I flipped around, I was like, guys, she's doing Creep. She's doing Creep. It's happening.
Where was it in the set list?
Up at the end, yeah.
Yeah, probably the last song.
Yeah, you closed it.
Glad you stuck around.
Brought the house down, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
It was so good. Oh my gosh, what can we expect from the album?
I want it to be, this song kind of has a bit of Creep in there. It's gritty and it has some sensuality to it. And I think like a new album, you have the new opportunity to just get that much more authentic, right? So I would love for it to be gritty, raw, and kind of sparse, like not overdone, but in a organic way with just harking back to the old days of, 60s, 70s. Just maybe even get a little orchestral with it as well in some spaces. But I just want to dig in a little further and show people like basically what I do at a live show. Because it's hard to show people what you do live on a record some of the time. but without having, somebody behind me pressuring me, like, you have to be done now, which is oftentimes how it's been when creating records with labels and stuff. I just feel like I have the unique opportunity to take my time and just dig in a little harder.
Now, obviously, you are partially so well known for kind of redefining these already major songs with your style. Will that be a part of this record in any way? Like any reimaginings, interpolations?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, I also want to do a jazz record, so I might be like simultaneously doing both.
Okay.
If I can, make it all happen. But I'm just like, I'm ready. The switch has been flipped and I'm off the road and I'm like, let's get as much done as possible.
Nice.
You've done Christmas stuff, right?
A few, yeah. I'd like to do like an actual
I want
album.
the album.
Love you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
We did.
Yeah, I'm going to add something else to the list.
We did recently learn, I believe, that one of the easiest Grammy nominations to get is for a traditional album. So do your Christmas album traditional style.
I did just get a Grammy this year.
You got a Grammy this year?
But it's in a very interesting way.
Wait, I didn't know this.
Well, this is wild. Anderson Paak was my first drummer that I auditioned back in 2012. And there was a slew of people that came in SIR and he had a shining light on him. So he was with me for a couple of years and I was just like, this guy is unbelievable. But I didn't even know he sang yet. He would show us his mixtapes. He's like rapping some stuff in there. I'm like, and he went by Breezy Lovejoy. So anyway, we kept in touch. And last year or 2 years ago, I sang on a couple tracks and helped arrange some backgrounds. And I don't really sing backgrounds unless it's like this situation.
Right, or Anderson Paak.
Literally, this is the only time. So I'm like, yeah, I would be honored. And so it was for No Worries, which is him and Knowledge. So they actually won a Grammy this year for Best Progressive R&B Album. And so because of my small participation on that record, I
got a Grammy.
Yeah. So
okay, Grammy Award winner.
That is so cool.
it's just like the craziest full circle thing that just gives me that much more hope and inspiration to keep it moving.
I just can't believe you picked an unknown Anderson Paak out of a lineup of drummers and you were like, that's why I want to be my drummer.
Yeah.
First Tom from Vanderpump Rules.
Right.
Then
Now
Anderson Paak.
Look at you.
I should just be an agent. I don't know what I'm doing.
Seriously. You know how like colleges or high schools will like claim they're like famous alumni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how I feel with us. Where I'm like, another kitchen guest has a Grammy.
Oh my god.
Hey, you're picking up special people. You know where it's
I'm
at.
so delusional, but I just felt like so much pride, like as if I somehow also won a Grammy because you got one. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
We could be the agents in the back with the cigars. Yes, I knew it, honey.
Right.
We're the agents over
Saw
here.
your name
Well,
and
cigarettes. Cigars are. Isn't that more that?
Okay, this
careful.
is getting weird.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I think it's game time. We've prepared a game for you.
Right.
Uh-oh.
I'm so excited for this. This is our first ever returning game.
Yes.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have it written down here too. It says, first time in Counter-Melodies history, we're doing a sequel of one of our iconic games. Can we call it iconic?
Sure.
You guys are iconic.
Thank
you can
you.
do whatever you want.
Thank you.
This game is called American Idol or American Impostor. Music.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ba-bum. There it is. Basically, in this game, the contestant, who is you, must simply guess if a name given is an American Idol contestant or another person who doesn't sing at all.
Oh, wow.
So these are real people.
Maybe.
They might be athletes. They might be
okay.
historians.
Ooh, which is even crazier because you could recognize the name, but...
Because this list in particular was put together by my brother, Lewis, who...
To make me fail.
Because he knows all the sports people.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So,
Are you a big sports fan?
Not much.
Okay.
I like baseball. I don't know.
This edition of the game is basically American Idol contestant or sports player.
right.
That's kind of helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we
Take it off?
Okay, the first name. Here we go. American Idol contestant or American imposter? Jewel Lloyd.
Oh, God. Imposter.
Correct.
Cool.
WNBA player that was recently traded to the Las Vegas Aces. Do you know anything about the Las Vegas Aces?
It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Sounds lucky.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, number 2, Gina Glockson.
Idol person. Is that what I say?
Yeah,
What
placed 9th on season 6.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool.
She's amazing. I also have a weird story about her. Can I get into it real quick?
Please.
When I went and saw the Idols live tour every year.
Love you.
And I sang karaoke like out at the little karaoke booth that they have, and someone videoed it like from the team and brought it back to the Idols. And Gina came out on stage and was like, "Can we shine a light on this section in the balcony?"
Oh, wow.
This is like that dream every person has about their like concert going experience that just never actually happens.
Yes.
And they shined a light on it. She was like, "We just want to say, Anthony, we saw you sing, and we want you to follow your dreams. You're amazing."
Oh my gosh.
And it was Gina. And I was like 7 years old. I was crying.
Insane.
That's the kind of support you need in that moment to just do what you're doing. Like that's one thing like that is like,
wow.
And I remember it as the first time I ever happy cried.
that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
I gotta look. I totally know her name. I know I'm gonna remember her face, but that is beautiful.
Yeah, very
Good
sweet.
for her and good for you. Wow.
Okay, next.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Isaiah Likely.
I think well, Isaiah sounds familiar, and maybe he's not Idol, but I'm still gonna say I think he's likely an Idol contestant.
All right. Well, I think you're likely pretty wrong, because he's the tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, of
Oh
course.
God.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
I should have known.
You guys are wearing purple today. That's their color.
Oh, caca.
Wrong.
I cannot do it.
I know. This is getting absurd.
All right.
Okay, number 4. Lauren Spencer Smith.
Why are you laughing?
I've never heard this name before.
I'm gonna go with Idol.
She was.
Yeah.
When was that?
And she's one of our best friends. She's on a very.
Oh,
That's why I was laughing.
I was like, oh my God, are you making fun of her name?
And I haven't read the list yet. Yeah, she plays top 20 in the COVID 2020 season.
Oh wow.
She's
okay.
I know you're not super tapped in with TikTok, as we found out from you not even knowing that you were a massive trend on TikTok.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about this during the episode.
Yeah.
She sang Stay High, the Tuvelu song with Postmodern. That's how you say her name. That's how you,
That's cool.
Tovlo.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
come on,
anyway, Tuvelu. And that was like the... I've just never heard it said like that.
Tuvelu?
See, I'm on the like how we correct people that say their names correctly side of TikTok, the respectful side. No. Anyway, so and your voice was all over TikTok and people recreating that whole trend. So
I had no idea.
Anyway,
And
Lauren's a TikTok singer. Like that's where she comes from. I mean,
Right.
Had a big song blow up in 2020.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Called Fingers Crossed.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what was cool is she did Idol from her backyard.
That's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We talked
That's
about it on
pretty
episode 11 of Counter-Melodies.
Yeah.
Episode 10 of Counter-Melodies. Check it out.
Right.
How'd you think it's 11? Anyway.
That's different. That's
All
cool.
right. Next. I'm gonna skip one because there's a lot of them. Next. Ethan Slater.
That has to be not an American Idol. Right?
Do you know who that is?
It's a person in sports. No, it's an actor. No?
Did you see the new Wicked?
Oh. Even though my best friend Jeff Goldblum's in it?
Right.
We didn't talk about that either. Okay.
I didn't yet.
Okay.
Because I was on the road and like now I'm here and is it still in theaters?
So
I'm scared to look.
In the spirit of country superstar Lauren Elena, it's Ariana Grande's boyfriend who also played SpongeBob, Ethan Slater.
Oh, I've seen him on Broadway
Right,
doing
right,
SpongeBob
right.
things.
He was, and then he was Paak in Wicked.
Can you do a SpongeBob, like a laugh, like a SpongeBob laugh?
That thing?
Not bad.
Yeah, I'll
See,
take it.
I'd have to like to get mine to.
I guess that helps.
I like you doing like the like.
It's a little chromatic run. We love it. Let's do like 2 more.
Miles Turner.
Gosh, that could be so both things. It sounds so sporty, and it also could totally be idol-y.
Right, like Miles Turner from
Okay,
Nashville.
I'm just gonna go with idol.
He swayed you in the wrong way.
Oh, he's
I'm a trickster.
He's totally.
Oh man.
He is a what? Soccer player? What the heck?
Indiana Pacers forward.
I'm sorry.
He plays power forward. What's power forward?
Oh yeah, what's power
That
forward?
sounds sexual.
But how is it different from regular forward?
Just usually bigger.
And what sport is this?
Basketball. You didn't know what sport? Oh
I didn't.
man.
No,
Yo.
God, no. I thought it was soccer. Remember?
I thought it was like football or something.
Okay.
We're busy doing music stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, man. And we have one more name. Abby Carter.
That sounds idly.
It is idly. You
Cool.
killed it. She actually won last season.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing singer. We love her voice. And
That's familiar.
David Archuleta did not know.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
David.
That's our last one?
That's our last one.
All right.
You did great.
You did really, really well.
Thanks.
You got
Yeah.
50-50.
That sounds fun.
Probably about that.
That was fun.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to watch more sports.
Right. We'll do it together.
And Wicked.
Wicked. We'll do every week. We'll do like Friday night. We'll watch a movie musical and then we'll watch a sport game.
Yeah.
ball.
Love it. Sport ball.
Popcorn all around.
Okay, so before you go, can you tell everyone in the cameras where to find you online? Yeah.
Well, I'm on all the social things at Haley Reinhart. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be putting out a new album soon, so we'll look out for Danger
Perfect.
single. I should be doing more TikToks.
Okay.
Okay.
Haley
And my
Reinhart
last
official.
question for you.
Yeah.
Can you please describe Jeff Goldblum in 3 words?
That's difficult to narrow it down,
Right.
but can I tell you how I just describe him at my shows
Please.
anyway? To me, Jeff is a mixture between the cool aunt that's really fashionable and caring and shows you a good time, and a child who's wandered off in the forest and found some magical mushrooms and is whimsical and childlike. Yeah.
There we go, everybody. Haley Reinhart. Yay! Guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Counter-Melodies.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a moment from us.
See you soon.